And what sound was it that I'm reacting to this morning? I have no ideas. I'm reacting in near total silence. Near total silence. I have a fan on in the window because we're going to get up into the mid-70s today temperature-wise. Yay! This is about the 14th time I have had to start re-recording this. I keep doing something horrific to make it so I don't even want to continue. So thumbs up for that. Otherwise, I checked the forecast. Air quality is terrible. I have been wheezing, barely able to breathe all morning. It's supposed to get better, but for right now, it's not good. Also talking of not good, my shoulder here. Oh my God. Yesterday was not good for stuff. I was moving heavy things from my bedroom downstairs. Not much. Only what I could, and I rearranged some heavy things downstairs, again, as best I could. I can move heavy things relative to me, but I can't move heavy things relative to anybody else. I injured my back quite badly when I was working as a nurse's aide, so much so that I was unable to even walk for a long time. It was that joyous. And so it has gotten better through time, healing, but the chronic pain issues are bad. I cannot lift things without the alarm signals to screaming. So when I say heavy, I'm talking relative heavy to me. That's not English. Heavy relative to me, and not like the, let's say, 75, 80 pounds that somebody else could carry. I'm talking about the 15 pounds that when I'm done, it's like, oh my God, that hurts. So thumbs up for that. So I was moving stuff as best I could that way. Luckily no jumping. I've taken my meds. I've smoked some pre-rolls. But chronic pain after moving things as well, because this is chronic now. Chronic is just long term, and it's not acute because that's short term. So yeah, it's chronic, but it's going to hopefully be taken care of. Yay. But lifting and carrying the heavy stuff downstairs and rearranging that heavy stuff downstairs, and then going to Walmart, and I purchased 2 more tubs. These should be the last of the plastic tubs I have to buy. I've pretty much got enough space to carry the things I want. The other stuff that's not going to fit in the tubs I really don't want or need, so it's either going to go to people or just be thrown out. But my God, this morning when I woke up, it was bad. Now, when I lie down in bed, my shoulder and arm are not covered by anything other. I have a sheet and I have a fleecy blanket. The fleecy blanket goes up to about my waist. Otherwise, it's just a sheet that would come up to my neck. Because of all this going on, I have the sheet come up underneath my armpit, and this is up above because I have it propped up on a pillow, and then I put another fleecy over the top of my body and then cast it lengthwise down as far as it'll go. So my arm's usually up on a pillow, but when I wake up, like this morning when my arm had gone through muscle spasms and was pulled up like this and hurt so bad, I had to rearrange my arm, cast the blanket on down, and I slept again for at least a little while. The weird thing is, again, my entire body does not move. The only time I move is here. Muscle spasms because of what's going on. When I put the blanket pushed all the way down my body, when I wake up, this is all tucked up around the pillow in my arm. So it is just yanking and jerking and just doing all sorts of terrible stuff while I sleep. No wonder it hurts. And then of course all the awkward stuff I'm carrying. Again, the tubs aren't heavy per se. It's just that if you're walking, the way you have to carry them is you hook your fingers in the lip, because it's a tub with a lip, if it's setting upright, and then you pop the lid on it, you put your fingers underneath the lip of one side, and then you just carry them. So you're carrying the top part of it, the bottom part of it is bumping against your lower leg, and then the rest of it is outward. And then of course they're heavy relatively heavy. They're very light since they're plastic, but the edges being heavier push down. Good old gravity. And because of that, they're pushing downward, they fall outward because they're resting with this part against your lower legs, which brings your arms once again out like this slowly as you're walking. So you have to fight, and either fight to pull them back in and then use your muscle tension to keep them held in, or just let them go out and then catch it and then bring them back in. So they're awkward, especially when it's windy, and it's gotten better through meds and such, but oh boy. One of the things that has helped is stated, I used cannabis for pain control, and it works. It would be better if they hadn't bred CBDs out of the cannabis, because we're recreational here in Washington State. And for recreational use, they have bred the CBDs, which are the non-psychoactive but otherwise very helpful parts of the plant, out of the plant, to replace it with just THC. And they are really putting out warnings for people, because they've been breeding for recreational stuff. It used to be very low concentrations of THC because in the United States it was illegal. It's still federally illegal, but just state by state can decide. States' rights, I don't understand sometimes why states' rights override federal laws, and sometimes federal laws override states' rights. But states' rights in this case, they have said, we want cannabis to be legal, and it is in that state while still being federally illegal. So joy on that. But even just regular THC works. When I smoke something, it does a good job of taking care of this, but not perfect. The gabapentin makes it a lot better. Gabapentin helps with the rest, but THC, because gabapentin, well, helps with nerve stuff. If it's not nerve stuff, it ain't gonna help. THC helps with everything. So no matter what I'm hurting with over my whole body, whenever I partake, it helps my whole body. Now, just to show once again for people, if you're watching in non-legal states, here is a hybrid infused pre-roll, a Happy Camper from Dr. Yeti or Captain Yeti. Yeah, and this one is 51% cannabinoids. And so that's a lot, because it used to be around 10%. I have bought infused joints that were closer to 70% THC. This one is an indica hash pre-roll, California sober, Captain Yeti, and this one is it too, 51%. Now it says effects on here: relax, happy. This one, adventurous, giggly. Depends on your body. There are sativas and indicas. Sativas are supposed to be more of a head high, indica more of a body thing, energized versus relaxed. But since I have severe ADHD, sativas tend to slow me down, which indicas are supposed to do, and indicas, which is supposed to slow you down, speed me up. So yay on that. And I just want to talk about that a bit, because it's something that I have to use, even though I have to be careful how I speak and show stuff, as I'm still getting stuff demonetized from my previous videos way back when I openly talked about it and showed it. Joy on that. Checking my time and looking back over here. One of the things that, if I get accepted at the, and of course, first off, before that, if you watch my videos, even halfway through, I'd appreciate it better if it was all the way through, of course. But if you watch at all, thank you so very, very much. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. And I just wanted to let you know that. I have executive function issues. I find it difficult to answer comments by answering comments in the comments, so I try to talk about them in video. but I do my best, and thank you for watching if you're watching. Now, we have, again, I live in a rented house in Shelton that is abutted up against a forest block. If I walk out the back door here and then go off the property line, it's a forest. We have a lot of those in southern Shelton. I mean, it's mostly forest in southern Shelton. A lot of areas that don't have forest, but then they're ringed by forest. Downtown Shelton has a fair amount of forest blocks, not as many, but they are there. Heading up to northern Shelton, it is a lot of forest as you climb up out of the valley that downtown Shelton is. You go from southern Shelton down into the valley where the town is, and then back up and out into northern Shelton. Northern Shelton is largely flat. There are trees, but they are not in blocks. Out where the Veterans Village is, there are no real forest blocks that abut against housing. There are a lot of nursing homes, and it's like 5 blocks away from Walmart and that sort of stuff, so it's flat. And I'm really going to miss that because I'm not going to be far, completely away from them, but I like being up against trees. And I actually like the fact that I'm up on the second floor here, that if I have to go to the bathroom, I have to go downstairs. If I want to get something to eat, I have to go downstairs. Stairs. They have found that when you use stairs, it actually helps to keep you healthier. Stairs are dangerous. They can kill you, but using them, the stress of using them, adds years to your life. As this is a tiny apartment place, from my bed to the bathroom is like 10 feet. And there's a mini fridge at the foot of the bed. So you don't have to move far at all if you're inside of the tiny room to get to everything you need. Sure, if you want to cook, there's a community kitchen. And so you got to take care of that stuff there, and you can do that, but if you don't want to, there's even a microwave in the little rooms. So, yay! And I am going to miss that because it is healthier and better for your system. Out there, I am so much closer to everything. I'm, like I say, about 5 blocks away from the local Walmart, not 3 miles. So everything I need is close, not a 3-mile round trip walk. That's not good. I need walkies. I need to walk. One of the things I was even thinking about, laughing about, because I wanted to talk about this too. When I go walkies, a 6-mile round trip, I walk down out of southern Shelton, the first part of the walk. Then I'm in downtown Shelton, and then I walk uphill into northern Shelton, and then it's flat. Get to Walmart, walk back, go down into downtown Shelton, and I have to walk uphill for the last part, and that part sucks. I hate it. I'm at the end part of a walk. I'm out of energy. I'm having to carry stuff, even if it's only like 3 to 5 pounds divided up between 2 arms. That's still carrying stuff. And I'm at the tail end of a at least 6-mile walk. It sucks, that last part of it. And yet, if I lived in a flat area, so that at the end of a 6-mile walk, it didn't suck, I would make the walk longer until it did suck. Yeah, it's awful the last part of the walk, but that's part of the experience. You have to push yourself. If it's not unpleasant at the end, you're not pushing. Now, 6 miles still keeps me exhausted and unpleasantly, tired, but that's the kind of pushing that I need to do. I'm turning 61 at the end of next month. I gotta push. One of the things that happens as you get older is at the end of your DNA is a section called your telomeres. Every time your cells divide, your telomeres get cut in half. They can only divide so many times before it's gone. And when it's gone, that cell stops dividing. And when that cell stops dividing, it dies. So your skin starts getting thin as your skin cells run out of telomeres and die. Your muscles start getting a lot, thinner, weaker, smaller. It gets harder to maintain muscle mass because you've got fewer muscle cells. As they die, everything starts to run out of telomeres and you start to die. Your cells, not just you, but it is a slow process. We are born to die. So there is a withering process, and I am getting close to that stage. I got stuff written down here, but real quick. As I've mentioned, there are 3 stages to life. There's your beginning, your middle, and your end. And then each of these stages has 3 parts of them, a beginning, a middle, and an end point. If we go with each of these points being 8 years, that is a 72-point lifespan. That's an average. Nobody has an average life, but you can use this as a guideline. Your beginning, middle, and end of your beginning gets you from birth, that's the beginning of your beginning, to the end of your beginning, where you're entering your middle of your life. And you enter in the middle of your life at approximately 24-ish. That's the middle, and it has a beginning, a middle, and end. You start off at the beginning, of course, 24. You end at about, what is it, 8, oh my God, 24 plus 24, 48. 48. So at 48, you end the middle of your life, and you begin the end, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Each of them take approximately 8 years. 48 to 56, the beginning of the end. 56 to 64, the middle of the end. 64 to 72, the end of the end. Again, it's an average. James Hahn, the actor, is 96. There's outliers. And there are people like this one fellow who back when I was younger, in the 80s, he'd had a heart defect. And he said he was going to fix his heart defect through running. And he ran, and he said you can fix your health through running. And then at 47, he died of his heart defect while he was out running. That brings the rest of the average down, doesn't it? So 72 is not hard and fast. But I am approaching the end of my middle. And it's going to be 3 more years before I start the end of the end. Now again, averages. My birth father died at 81-ish. I can't remember exactly, I think it was 81. My stepfather was like 89. My mother died at 74, and it was cancer in her case. Cancer in my stepfather's point. I'm not sure in my genetic father's reason. So, it's not a hard and fast rule, but there we are. So again, quickly over to the side. Oh yes, I don't know if what's going on with my systems and such. My keyboard that I showed you yesterday died. Doesn't work. If I plug it into the hub, doesn't work at all. If I plug it into the computer, doesn't work. The keyboard died. It killed the USB 3.0 hub I had. The hub doesn't work anymore. So now I'm back to a 2.0 hub, and I had to plug in my mechanical keyboard, which is covered in dust and junk. It's got pieces of cannabis in it. It's a good keyboard. It's filthy and missing keycaps. But I'm back to my mechanical keyboard because I'm trying to not use stuff on the actual laptop itself to try and extend the life of that. So joy. I don't know what happened to the keyboard, why it died. I don't know why I killed the hub. So once again, my equipment is just dying underneath me, and I'm having to fall back on shabby stuff. My life is shabby. I am shabby. Yay. Checking the rest of here really quick. I have been watching some videos, not all the way through yet, about the solo, co-op, and 2-person at Wargame. Oh, this is hard to say. 5 Leagues from the Borderlands. It is both a kind of ARPG and wargaming thing. But when you have There's other games like the Warhammer, which is really big and expensive, but when you're playing a game, you basically fill up almost a whole table, or it's half a table. It's a pretty large area that you're working with a large number of armies. Even a small skirmish is going to have a couple chunks of large numbers of enemies. And when I say large, like 4 or 5. 5 Leagues from the Borderlands works on a much smaller area, like let's say it's a square. I'm putting it at the side, you know, the edges go like this in a diamond, but it's only about that big maybe. And then you put some terrain on there, and you're using maybe 10 to 15 individual figures instead of squads, and then you do the individual solo wargaming stuff, and that's a very, very good thing. So I'm watching more of those. I'd like to try it when I'm settled down, so here's hoping I can do that too. Yay! There's a couple other things that I want to try out, and I've been trying to watch videos, so it's a good thing. 21 minutes in. I would like to thank all the people that I can't put up on screen here because I'm using the PlayStation and its editor. There's a limit to what I can do, and I can't put up lists of people who are my Patreon patrons. But you are beautiful and awesome people. Thank you all. Without your help, I would be hosed like a Christmas monkey. Thank you to each one of the people who have donated in the past to my PayPal, and to everybody who has donated to my GoFundMe. So thumbs up, thank you. It is deeply and greatly appreciated. And again, if you've watched this far, thank you so very, very much. It is greatly appreciated. There's no great call for my material at all. I do the kind of videos that I kind of enjoy watching, but YouTube continues to move. I like hypercut videos. I like long play videos. I like people where you're just watching me do the kind of thing I do, and I like the kind of videos where they just, out of a 30-minute talk, they edit it down to about 7 minutes. I like both. I like all. If I wanted more people to watch my stuff, maybe if I did it differently, I'd do better. But if not, thumbs up for that. Still, thank you, each and every person that has helped me. Where did that ramble come from? I'm not quite sure. But, after turning off the spotlight, I do want to thank each and every person that has left me comments in the past 24 hours. I've said it's never many, and oh boy, it's really getting to closer to 0 all the time. But thumbs up for each person that does leave me a comment. We have Jesse Koskinen. Spiders are fascinating. I love them a lot. And again, I have trouble answering individual comments by typing, which is why I'm trying to answer them in video. JAYY, greatly appreciated. It is good to see you. And yes, it is good to remember that a lot of what we do as human beings in society is remember that we're still apes. One of the things that, take a look at what we laugh at as human beings. We laugh at people getting hurt. And humor, but as defined by Mel Brooks, is tragedy is when I cut my finger. Comedy is when you fall into an open sewer and die. We laugh at that sort of stuff. Take a look at what chimps and other sorts of the apes and chimpanzees do for humor. Crude. We're apes, just like them. And it's good to remember that. Because while we are just like them, we're also not. Because we have a different set of ethics and morals that are a little bit tougher and better and gooder. Zelos, thumbs up, thank you, greatly appreciated. And boy, pain, it sucks. Here's hoping you can feel better too. We have made in Canada, greatly appreciated, thumbs up. And here's hoping we can continue to see you in comments. And that is it. Thumbs up, thank you. All 4 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people, if only for a very short period of time. But thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated. So, Hokey Smokes, I gotta be so careful. I mean, I'm waving my arm around, but again, I have said use it or lose it. So, I've got to use it as best I can. And still, I'm not getting that sharp electrical shock that makes you jump when I move it around. You saw me do that yesterday. Oh boy, was I a jumping because this hurt that way. This is more of a generalized ow, ow, ow thing. More of a chronic instead of acute sort of pain. So thumbs up on that. I'm going to take it easy because of this. I'm going to do what I can, but I gotta be careful. So hopefully you can do what you got to do. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Because I have to take it easy, am I going to record something for the channel? Largely now, I need to record stuff for habit and, oh boy, stress. Stress relief. I got to blow off steam somehow without hurting myself. So I'm going to try to keep recording stuff. Yay! It's a good thing. Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done, and that would be a good thing. If not, don't beat yourself up and just take it easy. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. Yay! Oh boy. Oh boy. Here's what I'm afraid of. I had to apply for a activation letter from SSI so I can get onto their site so I can request a form. I'm afraid that once that's done, they want to mail me that form. Instead of giving me a printout or some such, they will mail it to me. In which case, that's really going to be messed up. And then also in which case, they will drive me out to Olympia, 25 miles away to the office of Social Security so I can get the printout so we can get that done. It won't be enjoyable. Locked in a car with somebody that I don't know for the drive there and back, but we got to do what we got to do, so here's hoping. Still, hand up in the highest contrast position I can make. This arm not doing so bad. This one, we're going to be careful with while holding this. So you take care. I will see you. Life is fun, isn't it?